Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions, and this video is our Sunday Stock Talk. For those that are not familiar with our Sunday Stock Talk, this is when we come together on a weekly basis, literally every single week, on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I know due to daylight savings, the time has changed. Just be sure to Google when is 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, and you can tune in and we break down the top stocks that you see value in for this week. It's one of our largest live events on a weekly basis, and it really just kickstarts our kind of start of the week since the market is only open Monday through Friday, and it allows us to kind of like restructure maybe like what our focus is on to ensure that we have a proper plan for success. So I really hope that you guys are excited. I really hope that I earn your thumbs up in this video, and I hope that you guys each learn something new or benefit from this live stream. So sit back and enjoy, and for those that want to participate, please make sure that the stock that you post is in the ticker call out format. If you post something and it's just the ticker symbol, I'm not going to break it down. It has to be just like this. So Ishmael is going to be sharing the ticker call out format, which means that you have to post the ticker symbol, the support and resistance, desired entry point, sell point, why you see potential, and the overall breakdown, right? So what's going on? I'm going to say what's up to everyone. Actually, do you guys want to say what's up to the Instagram or our Instagram? I don't know if you guys want me to record it. The Learn Plan Profit group likes when I do that, but just wanted to say what's up for all of you guys. Really do appreciate you guys' time for tuning in during your busy Sunday. So we have a couple of people tuning in. What's going on, Gianna? What's going on, Zachary? What's going on, Matthew, Brian, Alex? We got two Alexes right side by side. What's going on, Jason? What's going on, Blake, Steven, Mike, Crew, Chris, Billy the Guy, what's up, Tall Fisherman, what's going on, my guy, Carlos, John, MH, Tina, Zeem, Christian, Sam, Edgar, oh, there we go, can't read it, Zach, Nia, Fabian, what is going on, what's up, oh, we got too many people, what's going on, now I want to know where you guys are from. So for those that are not familiar or have never watched any of my videos, I'm from Arizona, right, my name's Ricky. What's going on, what is that, Shakeen? What's going on, Geek? What's going on, Jack, Harmon, John? Oh, there we go. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys are all having an absolute blast. But yeah, we have people from all over the United States, not even just the United States, but all over the world. So can't thank you guys enough for your time. And I really hope that I break down the top stock that you see value in. And again, I just want to recap why is this so important? I think for a lot of new traders, a huge obstacle or a huge kind of let's call it an obstacle is, there's a lot of ticker symbols. If you're part of any group, if you're part of any forum or any community whatsoever, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's very overwhelming because there's so many different stocks out there, and it's very difficult for a new person to focus on what's important and what's of value, especially when you're still trying to determine your eye for value. So I hope that this Sunday Stock Talk and the different stocks that we talk about can put together a nice little pile of stocks that you see value in, that ultimately make it easier for you to focus on something that you see value in this week. And I think that's what's most important, is you should not trade something in anything you don't see value in or fully understand. So I just want to make sure that we all understand that. Let me go ahead and remove these. I hope you guys are all ready. Please make sure that if you're going to share something, it's in the ticker call out format. And let's go ahead and get going. Who's excited for the TechBot Solutions staycation? For our Learn Plan Profit member, that wins a contest, gets to stay with us for 2 days. How many of you guys are looking forward to that? Honestly, Ricky, finding the right broker is even more difficult. I haven't heard of that, but yeah. I didn't know that was so difficult. I am within the United States, so I could see why that's a little bit easier for me if you're not within the United States, but yeah. All right, so we have a lot of people that are excited for the Learn Plan Profit and TechBot Solutions staycation. Really looking forward to meeting you guys. We had Chris visit us last month, and really excited to have you guys a part and meet the whole team in person. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's start with the first breakdown right here. What's going on, Luke? The first breakdown is INVA. So let's go ahead and do that. INVA. So again, one of the first things that I like to look at is the 180-day analysis. And feel free to break this down. Feel free, as I'm breaking this down, you guys share your opinion about the stock, right? So looking at INVA, we could see that it was showing signs of an uptrend pattern had a really bad sell-off, and ever since then, the overall SMA line, which is this green line that you see right here, it stands for simple moving average. Feel free to Google it or YouTube it to learn a little bit more about it. It was pointing up, right? It made sense. It was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. The SMA line was pointing up. It was easy to identify the low points, the high points, with the RSI, or being able to use the MACD, whatever indicators you use. It's very easy. I mean, it had a very nice and consistent pattern. That ultimately changed when it had this very aggressive sell-off and completely broke its pattern. And that's what I mean. It had a consistent pattern and broke that. It no longer bounced around the SMA line, and it began to make lower lows and lower highs. The SMA line went from pointing up, it went now to pointing down. And as of right now, it's not showing any indication of an uptrend. So ultimately, it will have to show signs of a reversal and begin to make higher highs before I even consider the idea of trying to buy at the lowest price one. So I see why it is, looking at the RSI, not really the MACD, but looking at the RSI, I can see why, it's consolidating around $14. I don't know enough about this company to make sense of this trade on why it would be a good trade at this price point. All I could say is I really liked the pattern that I had before because it was very consistent. Again, it's easy for me to identify patterns when something is consistent. Makes sense, right? As of right now, this thing is consistently selling off. Not really something that I want to take part in, right? So I would need it to get back to its consistent pattern before I would want to take part of it. So that's pretty much my opinion, my breakdown. I would say that this thing needs to come pick right back up above the SMA line and begin to make the higher highs and higher lows just like it was before I would even consider the idea of trading it. So again, that's just my opinion, but I wish you the best of luck based on your breakdown. Let's go ahead. And again, if you guys want to break it down, please make sure that you post it in the ticker call out format. YRIB. What? YRIB. Looks like that is not a, yeah, here we go, LABD. Next one. All right, same thing here. Was showing signs of an uptrend. I'm not going to spend too much time with this, but ultimately began to make lower lows and lower highs. I'm going to talk about another one, LABU, right? It's the inverse ETF. I trade ETFs a lot, so I'm very familiar with these different ones. I like to focus on whatever's trending up. Yes, I do understand that this is a little bit more on the overbought side, and look at that MACD, look at the RSI. It makes sense on why this could pull back just like it did up here, right? So it reaches around 65, becomes overextended, sells off, bounces. So that makes sense on why, LABD might be at that buy territory. The biggest thing is a lot of newer traders have a very difficult time identifying when's a good time to enter and when's a good time to exit when the pattern is broken. And with descending patterns, it's just another thing playing against you. So if it's a downward pattern, I just would stay away from it, especially if you're a newer trader. If you're an experienced trader and you know how to take advantage of it, all power to you. Again, I just want to make sure that I explain kind of both sides. So what's going on, Aubrey? What's up? What's up? Here we go, JBLU. Here we go. Appreciate you tuning in. All right, so I like this one. Although it's a descending pattern, it's pretty consistent. It looks like it's trying to push up. I don't think it will. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. The MACD is already descending. That's MACD. Again, Google it, YouTube it to learn a little bit more about it. But right now it's descending. The MACD is already beginning to consolidate, showing signs of it being overbought, so not the best deal. And it might be getting rejected by the overall SMA line, which ultimately will make it most likely sell off. So I would set my alert on this maybe when it's that better buy territory, so a better deal. And when it begins to show signs of a potential reversal, then maybe I would feel a little bit more comfortable trading this. But ultimately, again, look at the bigger picture. It's a descending pattern. It continues to make lower lows and lower highs. So if the pattern does change, and again, that's something that we could follow up with. But as of right now, it just doesn't make too much sense based off current patterns. All right, the next one is RIOT. Here we go. Ticker symbol RIOT, right? Very consistent descending pattern, ultimately change its overall direction. Huge push up. Again, let's take note of that. Overall resistance right here, right around $4. So you guys see that? So this is where it peaked out at, and ever since then, for the past month, it sold off, has tried to come up, didn't make it, pushed down, tried to come up, and a lot of people might be thinking that, hey, this thing might have potential to continue to uptrend. But again, realistically, just looking at previous highs, one of the biggest questions, and again, for new traders, this is a huge focus for you. One of the big questions that I always ask myself is, again, a lot of new traders, a lot of inexperienced traders begin to overtrade. Just because something is trending up doesn't mean that you should trade it. because the margin of profit or overall opportunity cost may not be in your favor. What do I mean by that? Well, Ricky, if something is trending up, why would I not want to take part of it? Because the margin of profit that is left does not exceed or outweigh the margin of loss, the potential for loss that you have the potential to make. And what do I mean by that? Again, right now we're sitting right around like, the 370 price point, right? 373 to $4. Yes, it's 7.46%, but the potential for a sell-off is much greater. So again, you want to outweigh your odds and you want to ask yourself, is this a good deal, right? Would you buy an iPhone that you could buy and sell for $800? Would you buy it for $790? Probably not, because a $790 investment would not be worth it to sell it for $800 due to the time, the effort, and the overall just everything that you're going to have to do with listing it, taking care of it, making sure that it doesn't break, and then ultimately meeting up with someone to sell the iPhone. It's just the exhaustion. It's not worth the opportunity cost. Same thing with a lot of these trades. A lot of you are under the PDT rule. 3 opportunities, 3 day trades that you're able to take within a 5-day period. So which opportunities that are of value are you going to cherry pick, because not every single trade is going to be worth it. So that's simply something that I wanted to cover. Yes, it can 100% continue to uptrend. Look at that RSI, look at that MACD. It looks overextended. If it continues to uptrend and you see the day trade to be worth it, then great. Like I always say, all power to you, right? But if you begin to see that there's a breakout pattern, if it begins to sell off, then it makes sense as well on why it can pull back. So again, I just want to make sure that we understand that. ADT, what's going on, Zach? Alrighty. So it looks like it had a pretty aggressive sell-off, 180-day analysis. It was showing signs of a very consistent pattern. I personally don't like ADT. I did not have the best experience with them. But what do you guys think about this one? I want you guys to help me break this one down. So what do you think about where it's at right now, its current price point? What would you wait for? What do you buy in right now? I want you guys to help me break this down. So one of the things that I can point out right away is that, it was, around the around $10, $9 price point, and then it began to slowly sell off. The SMA line, which is the simple moving average line, began to show signs of a downtrend. So we have to accept that, right? We can look at larger time frames, 1-year analysis, and see that, hey, this isn't something that's showing signs of growth. So what do you make of that? This is probably something that I don't want to hold for a very long period of time. This is probably something that I want to get in for a really good deal and then sell for a profit. A short-term swing trade. Again, if that makes sense to you, great. If not, then do a little bit more research or completely stay away from it. But as of right now, like a lot of you guys are saying, this might be where, we might want to wait for an overall reversal, or a lot of people are saying it's an overall downtrend, right? As of right now, looking at previous patterns, there's a lot of consolidation. So, right, it was selling off, a lot of consolidations right around $6, and then began to indicate, right, broke above the EMA line and show signs of an uptrend. The EMA line began to point up, and it made sense. It was a good deal. The MACD made sense, the RSI, and then the overall pattern followed. Now we're kind of in the first stages of consolidation. So most likely what we will see is we will see this thing. It was selling off, right? It's below the EMA line, but on Friday, it looks like it had somewhat of a nice little push up. It had almost a 5% day. It pushed up. It doesn't mean that it's an uptrend. Look how many times it consolidated before it actually began to uptrend. Again, if something is growing your account, then you probably want to partake in that consistently, right? As of right now, this is not showing any consistent signs of growth. So what I would wait for is, a sign of higher highs and higher lows before I would even take my first position. So just wanted to share that with you guys. I think that this one would be, for a lot of our newer traders, something very interesting for you guys to follow up with. It doesn't mean that you have to trade it, but just looking at previous lows, potential horizontal pattern, and seeing, how long it takes for this thing to consolidate. We've talked about it, 3 stages of a reversal: rejection, consolidation, and overall confirmation. So again, let's just simply follow up with it. So we got Alec, AKBA. What's up? Here we go. Ultimately, descending SMA. But look, actually something's changing around here. It has an earnings report, so again, I would stay away from it. But look, it looked like it was starting to break above the SMA line. There was a descending pattern, began to break above the SMA line and indicate signs of an uptrend. As of right now, because of its earnings, I would just completely stay away, and it's a therapeutic company. I just don't like those. It looks like its last previous earnings didn't go according to plan, and then it had another one that was, it looks like it never hit its expectation. Had a nice little pop up, but as of right now, it's overbought, overextended. It's been trending up for a long time, and if it doesn't hit its earnings, then most likely we will see a sell-off. So I think that this one would be something maybe that we can follow up with and simply go from there. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about this next one, BNFT. Okay, so we got BNFT. It's showing signs of a consistent uptrend. We're kind of, so this is kind of like the other one that we were talking about. What was it? INVA? Nope. Kind of like that. Not really. Yeah, kind of like ADT, but in the much earlier stages, right? So, so BNFT, as of right now, we're getting a lot of consolidation around this general area. It was aggressively selling off. It began to consolidate, so no longer making lower lows or lower highs, and now it's just kind of just sitting there. Again, it's not showing signs of an uptrend, so it's probably not something that I want to buy right now. I'll set my alert on both sides, and we can simply follow up with it. One of the things that I would like to see is for this thing to begin to make higher highs and follow through with its previous pattern of selling off, consolidating, and then beginning to indicate signs of an uptrend. Pushing up, becoming overextended, selling off, consolidating, pushing up, and showing signs of an uptrend. And for it to continue that cycle. But again, this time it did break above the SMA line. It has done this before. We just simply have to wait for that confirmation, which takes time and patience, which is one of the biggest, I think, areas of opportunity for a lot of people. So let's kind of go from there. Ticker symbol SPY. What's going on, Richard? What's up? What's up? Let me know what you guys think about these breakdowns, if I'm going too quick or if I'm going too slow, or if you just don't like me at all, let me know in the comments. As of right now, ticker symbol SPY. It was showing signs of an uptrend. Overall market began to sell off. And do you guys kind of see what I'm seeing? What's going on? Is it here? What's up? What's up? What do you think what is going on right now? So it was showing signs of an uptrend, and what do you guys kind of see going on? Do you see these previous highs, right? So I'm going to right click my resistance, and all I'm going to do is extend to the right. Whoa, you guys see that? Almost the same resistance, right? So patterns and previous lows and previous highs are there to repeat themselves. It doesn't mean that they have to, it just means that they can't. So I'll set my alert to see if this thing continues to uptrend, but look at it. It's overbought, overextended, and probably not a good deal. It almost looks like it's beginning to peak out. The overall progression is starting to slow down, and we're starting to see larger pullbacks. So again, not only do we want to maybe talk about SPY, but maybe we want to talk about SQs, right? I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar with this. Actually, no, not SQs, TQs. This is the one that follows NASDAQ. So it's beginning to show signs of an uptrend. It had a really nice pullback, and this one's still pushing up. Again, previous highs. If you guys can see that right around $55. So maybe we might want to keep a close eye on the overall markets and maybe expect a pullback. And if we do, then does that mean that we could still profit? Yes, because we can trade the inverse of SPY, which is, if I'm not mistaken, TVIX, right? Right now it's a descending pattern, so I would not touch it. But once you get that confirmation on SPY and on SQs, then maybe you can, or TQs, then you could trade something like SQs and TVIX. So again, the only reason that I know all these ticker symbols is because of practice, and I do this every single day. So if you guys are wondering, like, do I have like a book or something like that? No, nothing like that. It just literally takes practice. If you guys are like wondering, like, you know, how do you become a better trader? Practice. That's all. Yeah. And it's not even that you're going to become the best or that I'm the best or anything like that. It's just you'll begin to become more aware of kind of like what we're all talking about and stuff like that. So here we go. So the next one is ticker symbol XNET. All right, let's go ahead and break this down. All right, so very aggressive descending pattern, began to consolidate. Overall, ultimately, not something that I want to take part in. Again, it's not showing any signs of growth. I can see that, yes, it does have potential to maybe push up. But the question that I always like to ask our Learn Plan Profit members, which is the private group that I work with every single day, is the simple question: if you were given an opportunity to take a trade, just one more trade for the rest of your life, what would it be? If you could trade just one stock because of the pattern, because of the consistency, and because of the margin of profit that it has to offer, which one would you choose? Would it really be XNET, something that's continuously losing value? You could see based off previous volume and its current volume, there's some form of hype or marketing or manipulation that's going on that drove the price up. I can guarantee that that will not last a very long period of time. Ultimately, if it's, if it is like manipulation or marketing or anything like that. So again, just be very knowledgeable about the trades that you take. And if you're not there yet, then maybe you should still paper trade or trade on demand to become a little bit more familiar with the specific trading style. So YRIV. Let's get some good ones. So very low cap stock. Again, a lot of consolidation, very aggressive sell-off, and just a lot of consolidation. Yeah, not something that I want to take part in. CVRS. Here we go. What do you guys think about this? So I will be completely honest. Looks like a complete pump and dump. Again, forget about it. Like, let's even say that it's not a pump and dump. Let's say it's actually valid news that drove the price up. For all my Learn Plan Profit members, what do we say? Like our natural gas reports, when something pushes up and becomes overextended due to some form of news or positive catalyst, what normally happens? When the demand and when the hype and the news becomes less relevant, what happens? It begins to pull back, right? Because less people are focused and aware of that specific stock. Right now it's super relevant, maybe because of some news or some form of report, right? Maybe their earnings report or guidance, something that drove the price up and its awareness is out there. But again, life goes on and it will become less relevant, and look at previous patterns and its volume and then look at its current volume. It makes sense on why it's going to pull back. I don't care for what the reason is, just what happens when it becomes less relevant and the news becomes outdated. Then again, the price action, it will correct itself and it will begin to pull back. So again, if it's not a good deal, the very sole principle that you can focus on, is this a good deal and can I sell it for more based off previous patterns? Simple question, just ask yourself that. Not it could continue to trend up, or I hope that it can, or there's more news coming. Is it a good deal? No? Okay, then move on. Because if it's not a good deal and it doesn't make sense on why you could sell it for more, then it, again, just making it a little bit too complicated. If you're someone that's just getting started, then be aware of that and focus on patterns and overall trends that make sense to you. The next one that we're going to be breaking down is QLYS. QLYS, here we go. Okay, so this one's pretty inconsistent. The SMA line is still pointing up. It's still showing signs of an uptrend. I don't like the RSI. I don't like the MACD. And we're just getting a lot of consolidation with not really it making any progress. So it looks like when it pushed up here, it just became super overextended. And looking at previous patterns, I wouldn't say that this is the best deal ever. So I'm going to set my alert there, but I'm also going to set my alert if this thing begins to make lower lows. I know that this one, I don't know if this is one that has been asked or broken down. So I did talk about Tesla already, even after the market closed. So I'm not going to break that one down, and it's a position that I took. So I don't want to, I'll just do follow-ups. And again, I usually make these follow-ups after the market close, just because I want to make sure that I don't influence anybody to take any position. But one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about is also a very relevant stock that recently came out. We were very aware of Boeing. Again, our Learn Plan Profit group called this one out, and it's initially what had it's a very aggressive sell-off. We've talked about this multiple times before. 3 stages of a reversal. It sells off due to bad news, right? So this is almost the exact opposite of that one that we just broke down. What was it? That little like low cap stock, right? What was it? Was it this? Here we go. Pushes up super aggressively, right? Let's go ahead and look at BA. What is this now? It's almost the exact opposite of CVRS, right? There's some news that come out. Unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, there was some form of there's something to do with China, and I think that they banned certain planes that Boeing either just released or were working on due to this maybe crash. And had a very aggressive sell-off. No question about it, right? It's very bad news. Is it detrimental to the company? Something that we always talk about. And it's sold off, right? It begins to consolidate, and this is where the support, right, begins to be built. So you can see the overall support forming. Is it still selling off? No, it doesn't mean that it can't still sell off. It doesn't mean that either. It means that it 100% can, but it's building some form of support. And then what we begin to see is slowly it begin to recover, right? So it bounces off the EMA line, and then instead of selling off, it begins to make higher highs and higher lows. So that's something that we can set an alert on. And due to the margin of profit, again, this is something that you can do your own technical analysis on, as you always should, not just, making sure that you guys are all aware of that, and not just take our opinion for it. But something that you can ask yourself, is this something that's worth it? Is this something that I could sell for more? This is Bowen. Is this a reputable company? If you're very familiar with that, again, I don't want to tell you anything to win you over. I don't care if you trade ticker symbol BA. I just want you guys to be aware of the opportunity. This is something that we've talked about, I think, for the past week or 2 weeks within Learn Plan Profit. And we've been following up with it every day. But again, it just has not been showing the signs of an uptrend. So currently a senior in high school, and you've been super old and learning minutes library page. Oh, appreciate that, Jason. Again, you guys don't have to donate. You guys can simply direct message me on Instagram or on Discord. And I'd be more than happy to respond as well. But please, if it's a trading question, message me on Discord and not on Instagram. But I'm really happy to hear that, Jason. And it's super cool to hear that you're getting started in high school. That's, I think, something very admirable. What's going on, Ernesto? So ticker symbol snap. What's up, my guy? As you guys could hear, I still have my cough. Wow. Check that out. Snapchat making a comeback. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think? I want to hear your guys' opinion. I feel like I'm talking too much. Overbought. Look at the RSI. We'll zoom in a little bit more. Look at the MACD, right? I like the consistent uptrend. One of the biggest questions that you're probably asking yourself is like, what changed? So this is I think some good advice. It was downtrending, it was selling off. What changed? What changed from it, the SMA line pointing down and it selling off, to it beginning to show signs of an uptrend and begin to make higher highs? Did it begin to produce, revenue? Did it, its overall guidance changed, or, all its news, like, or overall just reasoning behind it beginning to trend up? What caused this pivot and this change of direction? I think if you're someone that plans to make tens of thousands of dollars off of a company, or plans to make any money, then make sure you're knowledgeable in what you're planning to trade or invest in, right? Because right now, yes, on the technical side, I can easily see that it's overbought, overextended, and it makes sense on why it's going to pull back. But if I'm going to wait for a pullback because I think it's going to continue to uptrend, why would Snapchat continue to uptrend? Just make sure that if you're going to go in for an investment, that on the fundamental side, you have something to back that up aside from just the technicals. I think that's what separates the two. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about the next one. Yeah, but I think that this one's expected to pull back, but I'm really excited to follow up with it. I used to always talk about and follow up with Snapchat, but it's been selling off for such a consistent time that I just stopped. ACB. Here we go. Okay, so I like this one. It's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It's super overbought, super overextended. So I like how consistent it is. So that's why I'm going to set my alert for this thing to pull back. But other than that, I'm not going to touch it. It's a cannabis stock, so they can easily be manipulated. VTR. A lot of consolidation, overbought. Look at previous highs and look at overall previous lows. Is this the best deal that you can take advantage of? No. Look at the RSI and look at the MACD. It's descending, not something that I want to participate in. Again, if I want my money to grow, then I need to invest in patterns that are showing signs of what? A downtrend pattern? No, growth. Gregory, sorry. We actually already broke down SPY. Not too sure if you caught that one. ALXN. Here we go. Overbought, overextended, not a good deal. And it would make sense on why this thing would begin to pull back. So I'll set an alert if this thing begins to make higher highs, but overall opportunity cost wouldn't be worth it. And I would like to wait for a pullback. I can do that breakdown very easily. And again, is this the best deal that you can take advantage of for the rest of your life? If not, then again, why are you trading it if you only have 3 day trades that you can take advantage of? What about this? I think this has to be one of the best ones, right? Based on just the overall look of it, what do you guys think about this? Let's stop here. I wanna stop here and break this down. So what's your name? Joe Alfonsi. You're my guy today. So what about ticker symbol CIEN? Let's look at its intraday volume. Please don't be low. Oh, not bad. Okay. 20-day analysis, a lot of consolidation. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about its pattern? What do you guys think? Overall, SMA line is pointing up. I don't like the MACD. RSI is okay. Just a lot of consolidation, right? We talked about it. 3 stages of a reversal. It sells off, it consolidates, and then what happens shortly after? If and only if it begins to make higher highs, then we will most likely see this thing begin to continue its previous pattern, and that is from when it sells off, consolidates, and then begins to uptrend. Again, we can look at previous patterns: sells off, consolidates, begins to make higher highs. Sells off, consolidates, begins to make higher highs. Sells off, consolidates, begins to make higher highs. Sells off, consolidates, higher highs. Sells off, consolidates, higher highs. And again, sells off, consolidates, higher high. I can't even say it anymore. Sells off, consolidates, and what happens after? It's supposed to make higher highs. Doesn't mean that it has to. So again, what is it? Something that a lot of people don't do that we should do? Be patient, right? Set up a plan. Where do you want to enter? Where do you want to sell? Be realistic. Is a margin of profit worth it? Can you buy here and sell here? Does it accommodate your trading account? Do you have to be under the PDT rule? Can you be under the PDT rule? What do I need to know about this company? Should I learn a little bit more about the fundamentals? Should I, set a series of alerts, set an OCO bracket so I have my limit order and my stop loss or stop limit set at the same time? What do you guys think? Right? It makes sense. So we could what? Simply follow up with it, because right now it's still consolidating and not showing signs of an uptrend pattern. So what symbol is it? I can't see it. So it's ticker symbol C as in cat, I as in igloo, E as in elephant, and N as in Nancy. You want my opinion on NIO, please? We saw way too many people break this one down, and why does this one sound familiar? We've broken this one down before in the Learn Plan Profit chat. Super oversold, super overextended. Guess what? How's that EMA line doing? So if you want to grow your account, do you want it to trade patterns or invest in patterns that are showing this pattern? Do you want to? Would it be a good time to buy right now? Right? But hey, Ricky, look. It's below the previous support. Look at where it's bounced at before. It's around that general area. I have to buy it. I don't know anything about this company. The EMA line is still pointing down. It's not showing any signs of growth. And everything that I know on the technical standpoint is telling me not to buy it right now. But guess what? So many people are so obsessed, especially as they're just getting started, because they get told that, hey, this thing's going to the moon, or this thing's like the best price that you could ever buy it for. One of the biggest things that I like to focus on, especially with my trading, is not always getting the best deal. And I was thinking about making a video about this. And I'm gonna end it here. I was actually thinking about making a video on this. If you guys check any of my videos, so please do this. For those that are watching my YouTube channel for the first time, whatever it is, if this is the first time that you've encountered this, check it out. I upload 2 videos normally every single day. Watch this video, right? This was Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no. This was Friday. So I made $4,452 profit in 5 days of trading. I talk about my $585 profit that day, and you can see how many trades I took. I took and recapped my day on Thursday. I traded for an hour and made $528. See how many trades I took. I did, what was it? The third day was, I think it was like, it wasn't 1,050, because 1,050 was Tuesday, 1,300 was, I don't know what it was. I think it was like 858 or something like that. 989. 989, that was Wednesday. Again, I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. But see how many trades I took. The whole premise of me asking you that is, why am I asking you how many trades did I take? One of the things that I do, right? And you can see with the amount of trades that I take, is a perfect example of why I would not get into NIO right now. Or I talked about it even with my Tesla position. Why did I not go in with the $100,000? And I got so much comment of oh, this video is clickbait. No, I don't ever trade. Then this is just from experience. This doesn't mean I don't care if you do it the way that I do it. This is just my approach. It's no secret strategy. But my biggest thing is I don't ever, even when I day trade every single day, why do I have so many positions? I don't ever buy 100%. So I day trade with 25 to now about $35,000. That's my average position size for a full-on day trade. Do I take a $35,000 position at once? No. I usually take it before the confirmation or at the confirmation, and then I begin to average up. With day trades, I usually average up twice on top of my initial investment. So a total of 3 trades, which are 3 entries for 1 sell. So that means 4 trades. My commissions are $3, right? And I'm not under the PDT rule. Same thing when it comes down to my swing trading. I don't want to take a $100,000 position just because I think it's a good deal. My opinion, just like yours, is completely irrelevant to the overall market. Understand that, right? Where you enter, and think about this. Think about this the next time that you are watching like a hawk, your average purchase price and how much you're up. Your average purchase price or where you want to sell has no correlation to the overall market. So when you're just waiting, and if you have ever done this, I want you to say I in the comment section. If you have ever just waited for like one to like 5 cents, right? You're just waiting for it to like hit your where you want to sell. When it's already showing signs of a resistance and you're just waiting for it to like indicate signs like that it hits that, because I just want to sell at $9 and you bought at $8.90 and you want to make 10 cents per share, right? And you're just like this, ooh, hit it and hit that $9 mark. It's at $8.99 and you're just like, I know, I'm not going to sell. I don't care. I'm not going to sell. But then guess what happens? It doesn't hit $9. It gets rejected at $8.99 and then it begins to sell off and you're like, oh crap, okay, I'll accept $8.99, and then you begin to change your limit orders. How many of you guys have ever done that? I'm not talking out of like just what I've heard. I'm talking based off of experience. Same thing with your stop loss. And then it breaks your initial entry, and then guess what? You're like, crap, I just want to sell on where I bought it at. Now you went from green to breaking even to now in the red. And now you're just going to bag hold. And this is the worst part, where you're just like, well, now it has to come up, right? It was just at $9 or $8.99. It has to come up. And then it begins to sell off, especially for a lot of those people that trade penny stocks, unfortunately. For a lot of people that, I don't want to say unfortunately, I don't want to be biased. I just, again, that's not something that I trade. So I don't want to be biased. I don't want to subjugate other people that excel in that market. The biggest thing that you guys should know is that anyone can make any money in any niche in any market. No question about it. If there's a transaction being made, most likely one party is benefiting from it. Does it mean that everyone's doing it? No, there's probably a small number of people, and that's fine. But one of the things that you guys must understand is that for people to tell you that, hey, this is just not a market where you can actually make money, no, probably your approach is not something that's actually that's working. Does it mean that it's impossible? No, it just means that you probably just need more practice. But again, not everyone's in a position to be able to practice. So it doesn't matter. The biggest thing that I want to talk about with my example for ticker symbol NIO is, don't chase the lowest price point. Don't chase the highest price point. Where you enter and where you exit is irrelevant to the overall market. Your biggest focus is, I want to feel comfortable with what I'm trading or with what I'm investing in. And if it makes sense to me on when to enter and when to sell, then so be it. But understand that a plan is a plan, and it does not mean that it cannot change to get you to your goal. So if you plan to enter at a certain price point and you plan to sell at $9, but you see a lot of consolidation at $8.99 and $8.98, and there's showing signs of a resistance, the MACD is overextended, the RSI is overextended, everything is telling you that that is a resistance, then guess what you should do? Regardless if you're up in your position, regardless if you're down in your position, you should sell because it's indicating signs of a pullback. And that's what differentiates a actual, like the person that actually has potential to make money consistently in this market. When you remove all emotions from trading, and trust me, it takes time and it takes practice. And even when you do get to that point, you're going to make mistakes. But it just means that in the big picture, that you're able to suck it up and understand that for the greater good, I'm going to sell here because 5, 10, 15 years down the road, guess what? You selling for 1 cent more at $9 instead of $8.99 is completely irrelevant. It does not matter. But you know what is going to matter is if you don't sell at $8.99, it sells off, you bag hold, and you lose 90% of your trading account. You're never going to want to trade in the stock market again, and you're going to call it a scam. You're going to say that no one can make money in the market, but it was because of your simple mistake that you made that led you to fail on that trade. But again, a lot of people love to use scapegoats, love to make excuses for why they are not successful in a niche. But just understand there is a small group of people who are. And just because it's not you does not mean that you should be selfish. It just means that you need to dedicate more time to practice. And that is for everyone in every single niche, in every single market, because you can make money in absolutely everything. It doesn't mean that you should, it just means that you can. And that's where I'm going to leave you. I had a lot of fun. That was pretty cool. I want to thank you guys again so much for your time. I had an absolute blast. I really hope that I earned your thumbs up in this video. Again, if you guys want to work with me on an everyday basis, I would be absolutely so blessed and so thankful to have you as a part of the team. And that is the second link in the description. I would love to have you visit with the TechBuds team in Arizona. And again, if you want to enroll and learn Plan Profit, get access to the course for a lifetime for a one-time fee, access to the private Discord chat, and being able to watch me trade live, yes, where I buy, where I sell, live for about 30 minutes to an hour every single day. Learn more about it, dedicate 5 minutes. Click that second link in the description and learn a little bit more about that. We're going to be having this little contest, right, where I'm going to be giving $1,000. Watch today's earlier video, it will explain it in more detail. But on top of that, again, if you enroll by March 31st of 2019, I'm going to be selecting one member within Learn Plan Profit. You don't have to do anything. All you have to be enrolled. And if you're enrolled and Learn Plan Profit by March 31st, so again, second link in the description, I will be choosing one lucky person that I fly out within the United States to spend 2 days with me and the TechBuds team. You're going to trade right beside me. You're going to work with the Flipping Wheels group and seeing how we profit off of our cars. And on top of that, you're going to see how we've been able to create not only the largest YouTube channel, but just our overall business and actually be featured on one of our YouTube videos. Thank you guys again for your time. I hope you guys are pumped and excited for 2019 because again, this is just the start and I'm really looking forward to following up with each and every single one of you and to absolutely kill it this week. So hopefully I can replicate last week and not have one red day. But again, those red days are inevitable. So let's just make sure that we're prepared. Appreciate you guys' time. Continue working hard. Continue following your dreams. Let your passion be your drive for success. Be sure to like and subscribe. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. And for all those people that are not wearing green, pinch.